Yes, I'm Paul Morell, and I'm the government's Chief Construction Advisor, so responsible for maintaining a liaison between government and this massively diverse, fragmented industry of ours.
How well do you think the industry understands BIM, and what more needs to be done to educate people in the industry? Whose responsibility do you think this is?
Okay, huge gulf between those who I think could get it and those who don't. I think the government's ambition is really only to get the whole industry over the space of about 5 years to where the leading edge already is. So there is already a very well-established practice, mostly amongst the bigger practices, of what it is and how to use it. Behind that, however, there's a huge tail of people who I think don't understand it at all. And probably the biggest misunderstanding is it's got kind of about software. You can buy a sort of cellophane wrapped thing, and that's BIM. I saw something the other day, an advert, BIM for £99.99. Completely misunderstands what it's about. It's more about cultural change than it is about software, and I think that's not understood. So people are wondering where they can buy it. Actually, it involves going back to basic practice.
And what's the timescale for the introduction of BIM on public projects?
About 5 years start to finish. I think we have to recognise that in the world that I work in, which is right across the whole of the public sector and all of its supply chain, there are people who don't have an internet connection. And if you said, right, as of tomorrow you've got to be working in 3D, fully collaborative BIM, you would disintermediate big bits of the supply chain, and that would be a political issue. Small businesses in small towns would go to their MP and say, I can't work for the government anymore because I haven't got this kind of kit. So we've got a sort of 5-year programme with milestones every year, which we would expect to announce in June, exactly what that is and how it will work. But for the first year, the total software requirement is Excel. That for everybody who wants to connect, somebody somewhere has to have a bigger platform than that. So we'll work up slowly from nothing to Excel and work right the way through to fully collaborative. And the expectation would be that the big players in the supply chain will support smaller players. We don't expect a business, sort of 3, 4, 5-man business of plastering or bricklaying or something, to have some great kit back in his office. So if they're good at what they do, then the leaders of the supply chain, the tier 1 contractors, will support them. And that's what's been happening in America, where they call them in and help them, they make the model for them and so on. So 5 years, and you'll see a milestone at the end of every year that says, to be working for government now, you have to have got to this point within 12 months, and then that point within 24, and so on.
On that note, it's been widely reported that BIM is to be mandatory for all projects over £50 million in value. Will this be lowered, and if so, when?
Yeah, I think that's the recommendation that came out of the carbon review, the Innovation and Growth Team report on low carbon. And I think they were probably a bit under-ambitious. And in many ways, to restrict it, just to the major project and therefore to the very big players, rather defeats the point, because we need to get right down into the supply chain and where stuff is made. So I think when we're looking the other way around at the moment, whether there's a lower limit but below which is an irrelevance, that the infrastructure is too expensive to do. But I think that's probably south of 5 million. It's a lot less than 50. And in the end, of course, everybody who's working in that environment will do all their projects in that environment.